Hey, Bobby, I thought you said that this was not going to be that crowd. Go!
New Zealand, at its best.
Now's your time, Gus. She's not happy.
Now that is one big fish. We're looking at a 30-pound male. I started out fishing as my first outdoor experiences. I used to live in Brooklyn, New York, and used to go out on the party boats and fish when I was a kid, 12, 13 years old. We'd get bus fare, go down to Sheepshead Bay. I'd worked on one of the boats one summer, get to fish constantly, fish all summer long. It's just where my first love was. And once I started bow hunting, it kind of changed off, and I didn't do as much fishing as I would have liked to. But I did travel with the bow hunting, and that became my first love. I always had in the back of my mind that I was gonna fly fish, learn to fly fish at one point. And I've been fly fishing now for probably 20 years. But if you took all the times I've actually fly fished, it's probably 2 weeks. I mean, I just haven't spent a lot of time doing it. And it's one of those things where, even though I started 20 years ago, started getting instructions from guys, if you don't do it constantly, you're never going to get any better. And that's definitely the case with me. But it hasn't diminished my love for the sport, and that I want to go forward and learn more about it.
This is the kind of sport that attracts people that like being outdoors. There's a common bond, and if a fly fisherman sees someone who likes to fish but has a passion, we'll bend over backwards to make it happen. We want you to enjoy being part of what we enjoy. It's a fraternity, it's a sorority of protecting beautiful places, making sure that our kids and our grandkids have a chance to do what we enjoy. There's a real conservation ethic in this sport.
So there's something about fly fishing that actually drew me to it. And, I've watched some guys fly fish, and, it's scientific. I mean, they have everything down. They really know what they're doing. And in other guys, a fly rod is almost poetic. You watch these guys fishing on the stream. It's just something beautiful to witness. And although I've fished, I'm not clear if it's ever been the point was to actually catch a fish, as just to be part of that whole stream, river, whatever I was fishing on, to just be part of that environment. I really thought fly fishing gave me that. Wow, what a fish. Although I'm not very good, I'm a novice, I don't even want to say the word good when they're talking about myself fly fishing. But I do love it, and there is something about it that's just a true beauty in being part of nature. That's just a beautiful New York brown trout. I'm gonna get him back in the water and let this one live. Oh, we're fishing for steelhead today in Altmar, New York on the Salmon River. We got out here yesterday. We fished about 6 hours from the shore. We couldn't get the drift boat in. The water levels were too high, and water's kind of staying pretty cloudy. But today we got the boat. They dropped the levels a bit in the water, and hopefully we get on some fish.
Today I'm taking out Gus and Bob. We're gonna be float fishing in the world famous Salmon River, looking for trophy steelhead, possibly some brown trout, maybe even a few domestic rainbows.
So I never fished steelhead before. So to get to go out in a winter steelhead, now this was everything I dreamed about fly fishing.
Steelhead fisheries come back quite a bit in the last 20 years. After they outlawed the snagging on the Salmon River in the early 90s, the steelhead fishing and the salmon fishing was pretty terrible. Guys were keeping fish, keeping their limit of 5 salmon and snagging the steelhead as well. But due to the great hatchery system we got, it's come back to be a world-class fishery. This is the old trestle bridge. Used to run from New York City all the way up to Canada. I don't know how long the bridge has been gone, but now it's the trestle pool. Once upon a time, about 100 years ago, Altmar and Williamstown were hot vacation destinations for people from New York City.
I'm feeling this thing, I'm going.
He's playing around with suckers.
Hey, Billy, what do we got here, bro? This dirty Bill guide service.
Had a tough day fishing here on the Salmon River. All the snow melt and the 80-degree days we had last week. Lost 90% of the snow cover that we've had. So it's created some high water events. Today's the first day in 5 days that I've actually had the conditions where I can put my boat in the water. But as you can see, it's looks like chocolate milk right now. I heard a quote once that sums it up. Steelhead fishing. If you fish for an Atlantic salmon or a brown trout, they get hooked, they get scared. There's one! Nope, never mind. Stick. Hook a steelhead and they get angry.
Well, we're going to be packing it in. You know, we've been 2 days here on the Salmon River and fishing for steelhead. It's just a beautiful river. I've been here a few times to catch salmon, never for steelhead, and water's pretty high. They call it stained water. It's just pretty murky and just really not conducive to catching fish. They release water from the dam that's up ahead of this, and when the levels get too high, and that kind of affects this. Plus, we had the runoff here. You know, we had some really warm days last week, and we raised the water levels that are here. But might be back again this spring, and definitely come back in the fall to try this river for some salmon. So I've fished with Mike and Bobby over the years. We've gone up for salmon. We did a drift boat trip this past fall. So Mike, it's really nice of you to take the guys from the old age home out, you know?
I try to do my part.
You're going straight to heaven, right, Bobby? It's nice that he takes you out every once in a while from the home, right, Bob? Kind of went down and just, you know, having leaves come down, have, you know, all these guys lined up on these banks.
Hey, Bobby, I thought you said that this was not going to be our crowd.
It's a pretty intense situation. There's a lot of people fishing on the banks of these rivers.
Shouldn't you be in school?
How's it going, folks?
Yeah, we'll be good, man.
The middle trestle? Because I thought I was going to.
When you get to go on a drift boat, go down that river, if that run is happening, you get to experience something that most people don't get to experience. If fishing, because these fish are, you know, you can get fish that are up over 30 pounds on this river.
Getting good drift here, Gus. Fish, man. Not as easy as everybody thinks. Where's the fish?
Got to go down there. We didn't catch any fish that day.
You know how many times we've been fishing together? You still ain't caught a fish yet, bro. I went on yesterday. Yeah. I didn't see no fish caught. You told me that about it when my back was turned. You were daydreaming again. My back was turned.
These guys are adamant fly fishermen. I mean, a lot of times guys are fishing there and they use like a salmon egg and lift. You know, hopefully you catch the fish, you catch it in his mouth. But these guys want those fish attacking the flies. You know, I still wanted to experience one. Even if I had to release it, I wouldn't care, just the fact that I did hook one of these salmon. On this trip down the drift boat, although it was a beautiful day, a great day to be on the river, we did not catch any fish. So I started fly fishing years ago, and you know, one really cool memory was going to New Zealand.
It's our first day here. In fact, we just arrived this morning, and the roar is on. I'm totally pumped, and I'm thinking this is going to be a great week.
I took an awesome stag with my bow.
That is an animal. That is an animal, man.
I ended up taking a tar on South Island, the #2 archery tar in the world. And we got to experience some fly fishing. We fly fished on North Island and on South Island. On North Island, we got to helicopter in. So this is something I always wanted to do. They had a guide there. I got to go to a stream that was unspoiled, helicopter into this remote stream, you know, something that, you know, most fly fishermen will never get the opportunity to do. I'm this novice getting to do it, and you know, the whole thing was way more than I actually deserved. But I did get to fly fish there and did catch my first fish on a fly rod.
Go!
Got one.
We got one. I thought it was bigger.
Hey man, it was pretty cool though.
No, I did. I thought it was like, I saw a tail. There you go, that's good. Back now, bring them in. How you did on the eye. Yes!
Whoa, man! Marco!
We got the 5.
New Zealand, at its best. Fly fishing New Zealand, man, unbelievable. I got to experience it with my son. We had a blast, and I thought that was going to be my, stepping stone to me really starting to fly fish. But with the amount of bow hunting I do and the amount of travel, I just don't really get the chance to do it as much as I wanted to. But that trip was really memorable.
First fish, Chris. Very good. Cool.
So then one of the next times that I got to spend some time fly fishing. Over the years, I've done some, day trips and stuff with friends I know. And again, they show you some techniques, you learn a little bit about it, but if you don't stay with it, you're not going to retain any of that information that you got that day. I did go to Alaska, and it was a self-guided hunt.
What do you say?
It's Alaska. I say Alaska. Yeah. Gotta love the weather, man. Again, my son was with me, another buddy from Argentina. I flew up another cameraman. So there was the three of us just spending time in Alaska waiting for a caribou, and we did use the river, the grayling that were in that river, as part of our meals. So I did get to fly fish there, but what a difference in a place like Alaska where, the fish are not harassed, or they don't see a fly very often. Whenever you're doing a self-guided hunt, you're going into something new. You're packing food, but you're going to have to live off the land. You can't bring that much food with you. So we were catching fish every day. So even though I was bumbling my way through this, I did manage to catch some fish, and we did make some incredible meals out of it. And I got to live that full Alaska experience. So I only live a few hours from Pulaski, New York, which we have a great steelhead population. We have a Salmon River up there, and we do get a spawn that come up out of Lake Ontario. So I get a call from Mike one day. It's a rainy day and getting a little cold, and Mike says, dude, the run is happening now. Head up. And I'm a little hesitant because, like I said, Mike's thing is he's a purist. It's going to be fly rod and a fly. And we went to an area that's what you have to use. You could use a fly rod, but you have to be fishing with a fly. You can't use a salmon egg. So that area was a catch and release, which I was fine with. I'd rather eat the fish I'm catching, but the fact that I was getting to experience this part of the river was pretty interesting to me. I wanted to try it. So I head up there, and Mike and I head out, and Like I said, it was just overcast, starting to rain a little bit, and we could see fish in the water. Which is pretty amazing to me because these are huge fish, and I've seen salmon before, but not the way we saw them this day. Now, they were just getting ready to spawn. So you have a female out ahead, and behind her are 3, 4 different males, or maybe more.
All right, now's your time, Gus.
So these males are all behind this female waiting for her to drop her eggs, and they can go fertilize the eggs. And this is like what they live for, because right after that they die. So he's telling me cast towards the female, and as the fly drifts past the female, these males are so aggressive at that point, and they attack this fly, man.
That's shaking and everything.
Yeah, you got the head. You get him out.
Not ready. That's a big fish. She's not happy.
Getting a little bit too much.
Are you happy though?
Oh, I'm happy, man. This is so cool, dude. So cool.
You see how the male is hanging with her?
What was that thing with jaws? Start working it back to shore?
Yep.
Let that jaws follow us. It's a nice fish.
I landed 4 or 5 fish that day. I think it was 5 fish that were just, 2 were exceptional.
That's about the freshest fish you're gonna find this time of year.
This is just a 30-pound giant. We gotta get him back in the water. But, wow. Now that is one big fish. We're looking at a 30-pound male. I wanna get him back in the water. You know, one was over 36 inches, over 30 pounds, just an incredible fish. Now, we did release the fish. That's the rules that are there, but still, I got to catching my first salmon on a fly rod. It's something I will never forget, and Mike was right. Fishing with a dry fly and a fly rod for fish like that is the most rewarding. For me, I'm really drawn towards the steelhead fishing, and I think this winter I'm going to spend a lot more time on the river.